NFL picks for week 5, and we're going to be doing my picks with and without the spread. So starting things off, we got Thursday Night Football, and this is the game of teams that have just really not lived up to expectations at all. We got the Colts visiting the Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 3.5. Jonathan Taylor, he left the game this past week with an ankle injury. Is he going to be ready for Thursday night? I don't know. I'm recording this on a Thursday, but that's a huge question mark. I got to go with the Broncos to win this one, but I'm going to go with the Colts to cover. I'm going to go with the Colts to cover, but I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this one straight up. To kick things off Sunday, we got the Giants and Packers playing in London. We don't know who's going to play quarterback for the Giants yet. It's Tuesday, the day I'm recording this, and we don't know who's going to be starting because Daniel Jones left Sunday's game with an ankle injury. Then Tyrod Taylor came in. He left with a concussion. Then Daniel Jones had to come back in because, they needed someone to call the plays, but Saquon Barkley was taking Wildcat quarterback snaps. So who's going to start? We don't know. It could be third-string quarterback Davis Webb, but maybe Daniel Jones will be okay. We don't know yet. But listen, the Packers took all of overtime this past week to beat third-string quarterback Bailey Zappi. So if Davis Webb starts, it's not the end of the world for the Giants. Also, the Packers' run defense has not been good, and Saquon Barkley has been so dominant. So if the Giants can just run this ball all over the Packers, I think they have a chance. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Giants are going to cover the 8-point spread since the Packers are favored by 8 points. I think the Giants will cover that spread. I think I'm going to take them +8, but I think the Packers are going to win straight up. So Giants +8, I'm taking Packers straight up. Next, we got the Lions visiting the Patriots. The Patriots, I don't think Mac Jones is going to start again this week. Bailey Zappi, he looked kind of decent versus the Packers. He played a decent game for a rookie third-string quarterback who was just thrown into the game after Brian Hoyer left with an injury. This Detroit Lions defense, not very good. We know that. So that should make things easier for whoever's starting at quarterback for the Patriots. But this Lions offense is really good. Their offense and defense are like polar opposites. Offense puts up a ton of points. Defense gives up a ton of points. I think this could be a pretty high-scoring game. But I'm going to take Detroit +3, and I'm going to take Detroit straight up. I think they just got to break through this Lions team. They've lost 2 close games, and this offense, it's got to be able to outscore someone to get the win. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills hosting the Steelers. The Bills are favored by 14 in this one. Kenny Pickett's going to be making his first NFL start. Wow, what a game to have to make your first NFL start. This is tough, Kenny. I think the Bills are definitely winning straight up. I think they'll cover too. I'll take the Bills -14. I think they'll cover that too. Then we got the Dolphins versus the Jets. The Jets are at home, but the Dolphins are favored by 3.5, even though Tua will not be starting this game. Could the Jets pull off a big upset here? This Dolphins defense has been better than expected. Zach Wilson, he didn't have great stats last week, but he did lead a fourth quarter comeback versus this Steelers defense. You know what? Give me the Jets +3.5. Give me the Jets +3.5. And you know what? I also think the Jets will win straight up. I don't know. I feel like I have way too much faith in the Jets, but they've pulled off some crazy wins. Give me the Jets to win in a thriller, like last second win, like versus the Browns. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I have way too much faith in the Jets for some reason. We got the Falcons visiting the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, and this is a battle for first place in the NFC South. The Buccaneers, they're favored by 9 in this one, which is a lot. I think the Buccaneers will win straight up, but I'm taking the Falcons to cover. Mariota didn't look great in their last game versus the Browns, even though they won. And this Bucs defense is much better than the Browns defense. Even though they weren't good versus the Chiefs, I think they'll bounce back versus the Falcons. Seahawks going down to New Orleans to play the Saints. The Saints are favored by 5.5. We don't know if Jameis is going to play yet or Andy Dalton. This is going to be tough for the Seahawks to go down to New Orleans. For as good as the Seahawks team has looked, I'm going to give the Saints the win here at home, but I do think the Seahawks are going to cover. So give me the Saints straight up, but give me the Seahawks +5.5. Next, we got the Texans at the Jaguars. The Jaguars are favored by 7.5. This Jaguars team has to bounce back after that loss versus the Eagles. They went up early versus them, but kind of lost that lead after a handful of turnovers by Trevor Lawrence in that rainy, windy game. Give me the Jaguars to cover the 7.5 points. Big shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring me this season. So I'm going to create a pick'em entry for Thursday Night Football. I do these for almost every game. They're super fun and super easy to play. So I got to go with higher than half an interception for Matt Ryan. You know, he's thrown a handful of interceptions so far this year. Got to go with an interception in this game. Alec Pierce, I got to go with higher than 34.5 receiving yards. It's coming off a nice game. Scrolling down here to the Broncos players, I feel like Russell Wilson is going to have higher than 230.5 passing yards, especially because Melvin Gordon is now running back one. We know he fumbles a lot. Maybe they're going to try to pass the ball more. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to create this entry for $5. If I win $30. Let's submit it. Boom. And not to flex, I've won my past 3 pick'em entries. I'm on a little win streak. I just want to let you guys know I'm her. Titans versus the Commanders. The Commanders O-line has not been very good this season. The Titans pass rush, I don't think it's been as good as we expected, but I think they should be able to get pressure on Carson Wentz, who hasn't looked that good this season. The Titans are favored by 3 on the road. Give me the Titans to win and give me them to cover that 3-point spread. Next, we got the Bears at the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 7 points, a full touchdown. This Bears offense has been so bad. Yes, this Vikings secondary isn't very good, but I think this Vikings secondary isn't really going to let this Bears offense all of a sudden go crazy. I think the Vikings will put up enough points on offense, so I'm going to take the Vikings straight up to win. But 7 points, that's a full touchdown. You never know what Kirk Cousins can do with those turnovers. And the Bears haven't allowed a second half touchdown at all this season, in any game this season. So I'll take the Vikings to win straight up, but give me the Bears +7. Chargers at the Browns. Chargers coming off the win. Browns coming off the loss versus the Falcons. Chargers are favored by just 3 in this game. I think that's not a huge spread. So I'm going to take the Chargers to win straight up, and I think they're going to cover the 3-point spread. Justin Herbert, he's looking more healthy. Hopefully Keenan Allen will be back in this game. So give me the Chargers here on the road. 49ers at the Panthers. The Panthers have looked absolutely atrocious this season. Baker Mayfield has looked so bad. I don't see him standing a chance versus very good 49ers defense. 49ers are favored by 6.5 on the road. Give me the 49ers to win, and give me the 49ers to cover that 6.5 point spread. Cowboys at the Rams. The Rams are actually favored by 4.5 in this one, which seems like a lot, right? Doesn't that seem like a lot for a team that just lost to the 49ers the way that they did, with Matt Stafford leading the league in interceptions? This O-line, it's dealing with injuries. We know this Cowboys defensive line is really good. Their pass rush is really good. So I think this is going to be a nightmare for Matt Stafford having to go against, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence with this banged up offensive line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Cowboys +4.5. And should I have the Cowboys winning this one too? Does Cooper Rush just continue to stay undefeated? I don't know. I'm taking them +4.5. Do I think they win this one straight up? I'm going to say they don't win this one straight up. I think the Rams have to bounce back at home. So give me the Cowboys +4.5, but I think the Rams win straight up. Eagles at the Cardinals. The Eagles are favored by 5.5 on the road. Eagles are undefeated. I mean, I got to stick with them. Jalen Hurts is looking like an MVP candidate. I think they cover this 5.5 point spread. So yeah, give me the Eagles winning this one and covering the spread. Then we got Sunday Night Football, and this could be the best game of the week. 2 NFC North teams that are 2-2. Who really need this win to go above 500, and that is the Bengals visiting the Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 3, and I honestly don't know what to do for this game. I honestly don't know what to do. The Ravens coming off a really tough loss, The Bengals coming off a nice win. Are the Bengals back to being the Bengals we know and that we expected to see this year? Are they back to that? I don't know if this Ravens secondary is going to be able to lock down T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Bengals +3. And I'm going to go with the Bengals to win straight up. I don't know how I feel about that because I love Lamar. He's been so good. But the way the Ravens lost that game versus the Bills, it makes me nervous. So give me the Bengals to win, and I'm going to take the 3 points. Finally, we got Monday Night Football. We got the Raiders visiting the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 7. Yes, the Raiders are going to be in desperation mode because they only have 1 win, and this is a division matchup. So if they want to make the playoffs, they got to win games like this. But the Chiefs have looked so good, especially versus the Bucs last week. I got to go with the Chiefs to win this one straight up, and I got to take them with the -7. I think they'll cover that spread. So yeah, give me the Chiefs to win this one and cover the spread. Guys, I want to know your lock of the week, so comment your lock of the week down below in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.